Have you ever felt like your imagination was trapped in a vicious circle? You write a script, get halfway through it, and then leave it because you can't figure out the climax. Then you start a new one, and it happens all over again. Watch this video till the end to learn about story structure, which can help you get out of your writer's block. So, let's see what is story structure first. This is what I found on the masterclass website about story structure. A story structure, which is also known as narrative structure, storyline, or plotline, is the organizational framework of a story. Stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. When all three of these story sections are individually compelling yet also work well in concert with each other, narratives can be smooth and compelling. Now that we know what story structures are, let's see some famous story structures. The three-act structure. A story in three acts is a particularly popular approach, especially in screenwriting, because it is elegant and distilled. Act 1 usually takes around 25% of the screenplay. It sets up the story and sends the main character on his journey. Act 2 comprises about 50% of a screenplay and involves the protagonist going through various obstacles, learning, failing, and getting closer to their goal. Act 3 contains the climax, which is the highest point of conflict, and the resolution where the story ties up loose ends. Next, the hero's journey. Containing 12 rough steps across 3 parts, the hero's journey begins with a call to adventure. After initial resistance and meeting of a guide or mentor figure, the hero arrives at a turning point, or a point of no return. They must make a choice to plunge into the unknown, kicking off the second stage. The events of this second act reflect a paired-back three-act structure tests, the search for truth, and a great ordeal. By the end of the story, the main character returns to the world they began in as a person changed by what they just experienced. You will see most superhero movies fits into this structure. You can check out a detailed video about Hero's Journey. Link is in description. However, today we are going to focus on one of the famous and easy to implement story structures called the story circle. Writer-director Dan Harmon took centuries of storytelling principles and turned them into an easy-to-use guide for building a compelling story. Harmon explained that dramatic narratives naturally follow a certain rhythmic pattern, which is due to the fact that this pattern is an important aspect of the natural order of the world. So, let's see what is story circle. This is a circle with 8 steps. First, a character is in a zone of comfort. Number 2, but they want something. Number 3, they enter an unfamiliar situation. Number 4, they adapt to it. Number 5, get what they wanted. Number 6, pay a heavy price for it. Number 7, then return to the familiar situation. And number 8, having changed. When we pull each of these points into a single word, we get this. You. Need. Go. Search. Find. Take. Return. And change. As the characters pursue their goals, this story circle produces a rhythm of speed and change. They will find themselves in a strange environment. This newness necessitates adjusting. The characters must grow when they find what they are looking for. It has to cost something. This cost gives meaning to the desire. If people don't have to pay for something, it isn't valued. As the characters return home or to a state of equilibrium, they experience change as a result of achieving their desire, being in an unusual circumstance, and making a sacrifice. Of course, there are exceptions, but this method looks at why stories exist and how they relate to the rest of the universe in which we live, rather than just looking at stories and finding a pattern. This is why Harmon's story circle can be such a strong tool for the writer. So enough with the theory. Now let's take a look at an example, how writers use this, and you can also use this story circle. In this video, we're going to take a look at the movie called Madmax Fury Road. In this movie, Max and Furiosa are our characters. Max is a universal blood donor, so he only wants to survive in this messed up world. He is also haunted by the guilt of leaving his family to die. So he also wants redemption. And Furiosa wants to make it across the desert back to her childhood homeland for survival. Furiosa wants to run to escape the clutches of a ruthless desert gang leader, Immortan Joe. The leader's 5 wives also want to escape with her. So she manages to run away with leader's wives. Max enters an unfamiliar situation as he gets captured by war boys. They will use him as a blood bank, cause why not? Furiosa enters into an unfamiliar situation when leader figures out that his wives are gone with Furiosa. He sends the war boys tribe to get everyone back. Max adapts to his situation by fighting with one war boy and manages to meet Furiosa. Here, Max and Furiosa's goals align with each other. Furiosa adapts to her situation. With the help of Max, she manages to run away from the leader's war party. Finally, Furiosa finds a bunch of ladies who are her mother's friends. Max has also achieved one of his wants as he got his freedom. But, as when everything seems right, our characters need to sacrifice something. Furiosa thinks that she has achieved her goal by finding her childhood homeland. But she figures out that her homeland is poisoned and now has become an uncomfortable place to live. All other mothers are dead and only those who are there are alive. She loses hope. Max is free to go, but he will be haunted forever for the guilt of leaving his family to die. So he doesn't want to leave these people in a miserable situation. Witness this beautiful writing here. One character's need creates hope to achieve another character's needs. So, when everyone lost hope for redemption, our boy Max comes up with a plan to attack Citadel. And Furiosa agrees to follow that because Leaders has ruined the earth, and she has no choice but to capture Citadel. A place with greenery and fresh water. Furiosa returns back to Citadel after killing the leader. She is more hopeful now for the future. Max on the other hand feels untroubled after helping Furiosa and others. Both of our characters follow the story circle. But it's not necessary to exactly follow each and every step of the story circle. Some characters can skip some steps. So if you're stuck in the middle of that creative looping, can't find a way to finish your script, just use the story circle and don't worry, you don't need to memorize all of this. You can click on the link in the description below and download a free story circle worksheet to plot out your own story. Also, be sure to check out our channel for more videos and storytelling resources, just like this one. We'll see you in the next video.